J&K has lost a good 25 years of development for whatever reasons, and we need to now catch up. And this 80,000 crores should be seen as a kind of a catch-up plan. When Mufti Sahab met the Prime Minister, I think our sensitivities and our belief that this engagement with Pakistan is critical to the entire process of peace and large peace project was underlined. This is the first time BJP is engaging with minorities in a real sense. And we are a majority that way. It's a Muslim majority state. And it's a huge ask for them also. I think it will also be it could be a transformative exercise for them as well.
What's the package? What is the plan that you have?
The package, I think, was a part of the legacy that because of the devastating floods, the previous government had submitted a package of about 44,000 crores. And we kind of inherited that number, and that became more like a headline number. And when that package was reassessed by the World Bank, they brought it down to 21,000 crores. And it was further reassessed by the Niti Aayog at 11,000 crores. So from the pure thing of optics also, 44,000 submitted by a previous government and this government in alliance with the government in centre, getting 11,000 crores seemed absurd. So we kind of reworked the entire thing to say it's not just about relief and rehabilitation post-floods, it's about a developmental package. And best rehabilitation is done through pushing developmental expenditure. You should not kind of do transfer payments, cash transfers, because that causes a lot of distortion in the system. So we worked out this model that you want to do rehabilitation, do it through development. Don't do it through cash transfers. Of course, there will be an element of relief. So we designed this package with the central government and worked out a number of about 1 lakh plus some crores with focus, as I said, on rebuilding infrastructure, both public and private, some parts. The private component really gave it the relief and rehabilitation kind of focus. It took us a lot of time to do that. I think it took about 8 months to finally arrive at a consensus. But then there are two options, as I've seen in government, is one, you can announce a package and then start looking for funds for it. We followed the other route. We said we'll find the funds first and then we'll kind of do it. So that took a lot of time, but eventually on 7th of November, the Prime Minister announced a package of about 80,000 crores, which I think will provide the right kind of trigger for the J&K economy to be rebuilt. So what we want to do is two things: reform the government and rebuild the economy. So these are the two planks we are working on. Reforming government, of course, means a whole lot of administrative reforms and reforms in policy frameworks and so on and so forth. And rebuilding the economy is basically providing the kind of infrastructure that is required. What you need to also appreciate is that J&K has lost a good 25 years of development for whatever reasons, and we need to now catch up. And this 80,000 crores should be seen as a kind of a catch-up plan, and we call it the Tamir plan, the aggregative macroeconomic infrastructure and economic rebuilding. And the focus is on that. And within each element, we have tried to provide for restoration of livelihoods and so on and so forth. So one sees it more as a long-term thing, which would change the development strategy of J&K.
Exactly. Almost after 8 months, Mufti Sahab met the Prime Minister here in Delhi, and it was also said as reassessing the relationship of BJP and PDP. So, what is your own assessment? Is there still acceptability on the ground about the alliance? Because the alliance itself looked like a very difficult alliance with two completely different parties. What is the impression right now, say 6 months, 7 months down the line?
It is a counterintuitive alliance, there's no doubt about it. I mean, let's not kind of try and pretend that it was a very natural, it's not a natural alliance at all. But then a view was taken that this alliance would kind of provide a different path which will have not just implications in the state It could even have implications nationally and perhaps even subcontinentally. From an operative part, I think the alliance has worked very well internally in terms of government and all. I don't see any problem. In the last 8 months, we haven't had a crisis of that kind. From outside, yes, there have been, you see that the flag issue, the beef issue, and so on and so forth. But fundamentally, the alliance is very stable. Being in government, I have earlier also seen how the alliance with Congress was working. It's far more robust and less troublesome than that kind of alliance. On ground, I think there is now perhaps post-package, as I said that somewhere that this is the first phase of the alliance is over. We are now entering a second phase. The first phase really was checking out each other, trying to get used to each other, also trying to see that if between Jammu and Srinagar, the kind of mutual distrust that had evolved over time is reduced. So that phase is over, and I think what the package does is to mark the beginning of the second phase of the alliance, which is more governance oriented. Because if you recollect, in our agenda of alliance, we have labeled it as a governance alliance, not a political alliance. And it's a very loaded term. So I think that phase starts now, and we should hopefully begin to provide better governance, better development, and so on.
Manishankar Iyer has just made a statement which has dragged him into some degree of controversy. But at the time of the Prime Minister's swearing in, a lot of people were optimistic that it was the Prime Minister's personality which will allow for talks with Pakistan. You know, the way the subcontinental leaders were invited for his swearing in, etc., etc. But after that, things have gone consistently down south. Now, Mani Iyer goes to Pakistan and says it's actually something about the Prime Minister which is not allowing talks with Pakistan to continue. Why do you think India is, and Pakistan are in this space where they are, where they're not even talking, which is going back many steps behind where they had managed to get in? As you are speaking of other economies you thought would come out of this alliance, which would also be subcontinental. So does that worry you as a...
Well, it of course does worry us, but I think we are also kind of in a hurry. There's a huge history behind this. And to be fair, while in the previous government, and I'm specifically talking of the state in J&K, nothing has happened in the last 12 years. No progression was made. I think you need to see it as a process that builds on, things like trade across LOC, take it to the next level, monetize it, increase the ambit of goods, the people, and so on and so forth. That got stuck, and we haven't made any progress since 2004 on those matters. I think more important than just top level talks are the elements like these, which we are hopeful that eventually that will drive the whole peace process.
But did you all, as some people who are very open about being interested in talks continuing between India and Pakistan, ever make an effort to kind of tell the BJP?
I think a large part of when Mufti Sahab met the Prime Minister, I think our sensitivities and our belief that this engagement with Pakistan is critical to the entire process of peace and large peace important was underlined. We keep talking, and as this question was asked to Mufti Sahab, I think a week back, press conference I was sitting with him, and he said, no, my job is to keep trying and advocate it, because he has a view. He believes in a certain thing, and he articulates it very, very well and repeatedly, saying this is required. In fact, his first press conference was hijacked by that. And all he was saying that today Pakistan has recognized that there is a democratic process in J&K. These are not elections like that in '76 when nobody voted in it. That got taken out of context and a whole thing was built on it. But I think he also, as a politician of 60 years, and I think he's the most committed Indian out of J&K ever. And he believes it's good for the country, for the nation, to be in engagement with Pakistan, and of course for J&K as well.
Why would you saying they seem very pragmatic? And I think pragmatism and the way you speak and talk about governance and development, you're positing this alliance as a very pragmatic thing, but it also seems to have something very anti-politics about it. Does that worry you in a state which is only soon, and you spoke of drawing people into the electoral process, about raising the level of discourse? Should that worry you, that this supreme pragmatism may not be politically the best thing as when we look back 5 or 10 years from now on? So you disenchant people, a lot of people who vote for you on the basis of what you go to the people, with. And you end up doing something completely opposite, and you can spin it because you say this is governance and development. I mean, there's a problem here, isn't there?
Not that I see like that. I mean, look, Kashmir engaged with an idea of India.
Continues to do so.
1 minute. No, so yeah, exactly. I grew up questioning the idea. That was not the right engagement to do. Nevertheless, we engaged with it. That idea of India has changed. You may not like it. You may not agree with it. You may abhor that idea, or that new idea of India. It's a reality. Our alliance is an experiment in trying to engage with this new idea of India. Because the BJP has had an overwhelming mandate in the country. And that you need to engage with. As far as governance and development is concerned, I think we'll do very well. And we're also learning to live with each other. I think that's a process also. Congress was tied up in all kinds of things itself, and it was a mess running a state with them. I still remember, walkouts on every cabinet meeting, and this is not, and a very kind of trade-offish mentality, which I don't find here. I mean, I find that there is also a sensitivity towards our needs, that they have to have something in Kashmir, and there is a certain constituency. I think this is the first time BJP is engaging with minorities in a real sense. And we are a majority that way. It's a Muslim majority state. And it's a huge ask for them also. I think it will also be it could be a transformative exercise for them as well.
How do you reconcile your position in the past with the present? From an admirer of Jinnah to being in alliance with RSS and talking about ethnic nationalism, talking about Kashmiri identity, resolution of conflict, and definitely you had a role in the whole whatever TP spoke before elections, also the vision document that you prepared. How do you reconcile to that? Because RSS is a completely different thing, and their vision of Kashmir is different.
If you look at the agenda of alliance, point out one thing to me where we have compromised on our position ideologically, be it 370, be it AFSA, be it talks with Pakistan, whatever, it's all in the agenda of alliance. In fact, a large part of the alliance is a reproduction of the PDP manifesto, word for word. So in that sense, I don't think we compromised our position ideologically as a political party. Second, the drivers for this alliance were different, and the results of the election reflected the political realities on the ground. Jammu and Kashmir were so different culturally, ethnically, linguistically, geographically. They're very different, and what holds them together? A political party. And I think the political party that held it together for many, many years, which was the National Conference, abdicated its role by passing off and having a seat arrangement with Congress, which furthered the divide between Jammu and Kashmir. So the first part of the alliance was to keep the state together. And I think that is what drove the alliance. In terms of identity and ethno-nationalism, I think as a political party, we do stand by it. It is very much a part of our manifesto, very much a part of self-rule, which is why this alliance becomes very strange. As regards RSS, I mean, we have aligned with BJP. So it's not an RSS alliance, and we all know what happens. But I think there's also a larger message. So in a larger sense, if you see where we are coming from, it's very, very important to engage with all political ideologies to be able to create some degree of consensus on basics. And today, when Mufti Saab goes and speaks at an ideas conference, he actually puts across a point of view. The first time somebody is engaging with them at that level. So I think it's a useful experiment. I'm not for a moment saying that this is the solution, no. But I think it's a process. And as we go along, we'll see how much we are able to succeed.